There we go. Good morning, y'all. What up? If you don't know who I am, my name is Aaron, the Black Trumpeter here on YouTube. And first notes of the day. So, yeah, I usually start with air attacks. Air attacks in the mid to low register. No buzzing. Hey, man. So I'm doing air attacks. I'm not buzzing or anything. I just want to make sure that the response is there. Yeah, so that's all I'm doing. So welcome. What do you guys do for your warm up if you're watching? There's 10 people watching. So if you're here, say what up. Don't be shy. What up? Where you from? What time is it there? Let me know where you're from. What's up, Nina from Chile? Jace. Jace says I do lip slurs for my warm up. Brian Dempson says my teacher has me do the 6 notes as your warm up. That's cool. That's interesting. Ethan says I usually do slurs and play scales. You do that, you guys do that at the first thing you do? That's the first thing you do for your warm up? What's up, Glenn from France? Nice. Thank you for talking. Thank you for being here. I'm trying to play really soft. What's up, Tyrell from Bahamas? You guys play trumpet? The question is, what do you guys do for your warm up? The first thing you do in the beginning of your day. Hugh says, warming up, do bends starting on middle G. It's my starting point for the day. Nice. Juan says, Aaron is the best. You would really learn from him if you dedicate time to all his lessons. Thank you, Juan. I appreciate you. Every day I'm learning new stuff. I'm trying to be a better teacher, better player. So some things that I might say in previous videos, they might have changed. Especially the more I learn, the more I grow, the more I practice. So in this, I'm trying to just get the response of each note. I'm not using my tongue. I'm using all air attacks. I'm not worried about my sound. My focus is just the response. I'm not worried about intonation. I'm just trying to get a feel for today, to see where I'm at today. do this to a low F sharp. Hugh from Toronto, rainy and 50 Celsius today. Good day to stay indoors and play. Yeah, for sure. It's been kind of cloudy and windy here in Indiana. Oh, by the way, I moved to Indiana recently. I'm not in Chicago or Illinois anymore. Even though, I mean, it's not that far. Not that far from where we lived before. But it was pretty cold and windy here for a couple of days. Then it was really nice and sunny, so. What's up, Joe from Lebanon? That's cool. What time is it there in Lebanon? Ethan says, what do you do aside from YouTube? Are you a teacher? Yeah, I teach. I have a private studio. I teach students of all ages from 7 to 70, 80. People with all types of interests and backgrounds, but they want to play trumpet. So yeah, I teach. I record for some folks for their projects and for their ensembles. What else do I do? I take care of my daughter during the day, my 10-month-old daughter. What's up, Magdalena? Says, hello, Aaron. Thanks for your videos for beginner. It helped a lot. I'm from Poland. Excellent. So, Magdalena, you play? You just started playing trumpet? How's it going so far? So if you just joined us, say what up. Say there's 16, 17 people in here. I haven't heard from all 16. I would love to know who you are. Just say what up, say your name, where you're from. I don't get a chance to talk to you guys. I just make the videos and then that's it. So if you're popping in, please say hi, don't be shy. If you're a returning subscriber, say what up too. I like to see my returning folks. What's up, Samuel? Says, hi, Aaron. Can you give me advice on playing trumpet by ear? Samuel, I am from Trinidad. Whoa, somebody with the $9.99. Thank you for Holistic Health Emporium. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. He says, greetings, Aaron. What's your opinion as far as starting with overtone series? Oh, you mean like this? Do you mean that, the overtone series? I'm not really familiar with that word, but if it's like slurs and stuff like that, that's good too. But as far as starting with that, I think that's great. If that's what you mean, if that's what you mean, like doing the slurs like this. So on and so forth. That's a great way to do it. It's a great way to start. In college, my professor had us do this, and no one really liked it, but I loved it because it gave me a chance to just sound bad and not have to worry about sounding good all the time. So the first thing we did was this exercise. This might be overtones, but it's out of tone, it's out of tune, out of tone, but the premise is to start with air attack, then a little bit of articulation, and then we're gonna bend and slur or gliss, whatever you want to call it, slur, gliss, bend. We're gonna bend that pitch or gliss that pitch all the way down to the lowest harmonic. Just be really nice and relaxed. And I love that exercise. I still do it. I should probably do it right now. Let's do it. So we're gonna do an air attack starting on middle G. And then we're gonna slur or gliss all the way down. We're gonna try to get as many harmonics in the sound until the note wants to pop to that lowest harmonic. So this is what it is. 1, 2, 3. Rest, 2, 3. Rest, 2. Now 1. Now 1 and 2. Ready? Rest, 2 and 3. 3, 4. One and 3. Here we go. Rest. 1, 2 and 3. Here we go. Right? So I love that exercise. It makes me really nice and relaxed. I'm starting with the tone, so starting with the air. So I'm making sure I'm getting the response of the note. I don't want to I can't talk. I don't want to force the note with the tongue or with playing really loud, right? So I like this exercise. It really gets us to really know where those slots are, because that's really important in trumpet. We got to know where the slots are in our oral cavity with the right amount of air, with the right amount of aperture size. So I like doing that exercise. So Holistic Health, if you like that exercise, I really recommend it, especially at the start of your day. Someone had another question before that. Oh, Samuel says, can you give me advice on playing by ear? That's my daughter dropping things on the floor that she's playing with. Advice on playing by ear. I would say start with songs that you already know. Like start with songs that you can already sing and it's in your ear. That's my advice, because it's going to be a lot easier for you to pick up those notes and figure it out on your trumpet. So everybody knows Happy Birthday. Everybody knows like some childhood songs or whatever. Or even like whatever your favorite songs are on the radio or streaming or whatever, like start with those songs, because that's going to be those songs are already ingrained in your head, already ingrained in your core, right? So you don't have to do much work at the beginning to really hear that melody. So that's a good starting point. I have a student right now. I'm actually teaching him today around 9:30 Central Time, and we've just been learning his favorite songs. We've been learning like rock songs, so U2. We did a whole bunch of songs by Coldplay, and what's cool about that is I'm getting him to be able to play his scales, because in the beginning he was really reluctant on learning his scales, and I was just trying to impress upon him that we have to learn our scales to be able to play music. It wasn't until maybe a week or two into it, I was like, what kind of music do you like? Who do you like to listen to? He's like 11 or 12, and he loves 80s music. And some like 80s like rock and stuff like that, and like 90s rock and stuff, and pop and stuff like that. So we started learning those songs. And so what ended up happening was he realized, excuse me, he realized that he needed to learn the scales in order to learn the songs by ear. Right? Does that make sense? Like, he had to learn the scales. There was no way around it. If he wanted to play the song by ear, he had to know the scale. So this is how I was able to get him to learn the scales, is through music, through his favorite songs. And so we've just been playing by ear, and it's been great. I think we're up to maybe 18 songs learned by ear, and it's great. And he learns it by memory. So that's my advice, is to start with songs you already listening to. You don't need the recording to be able to recall the melody. So that's my advice. Hopefully that helps. Jamel Williams says, hey, from Chicago. Nice, from Chicago. I'm a percussionist, but I love trumpet and your videos are great. Man, that's awesome. For some reason, I'm getting a lot of percussionists coming out and that want to play trumpet, which is cool, which is awesome. Joe, I just want to ask, how can I get to higher notes easier? I have some problems to do it. When it comes to first when we get started, what helps playing high notes is syllables. So saying your ah, as in awesome, or aw as in awesome, e as in pizza, oo as in humility, right? So those different tongue levels kind of helps us do different notes. So what I recommend is actually practicing those syllables by taking the main tuning slide out. Take the main tuning slide out and practice those syllables. So practice doing this. So that's my aw syllable, aw. And then what I tell students to do is let's go down. Let's do a lower pitch. Let's do a lower pitch. So what do I do to get that lower pitch? There's definitely a little bit more air. I have to say ooh to kind of drop the jaw, drop the oral cavity inside the mouth, and open up just a bit, right? So we have these two sounds now. They're not particularly notes, but they're sounds. So this is the tongue level I'm talking about. So ow. Now, let's try to get a higher sound. So how do we do that? One way to do that is to use E, as in pizza. E, E, E. And so the tongue level kind of helps us get up to the higher notes easier. So if you can do that, if you can pop out that note, this note, you're on your way to being more efficient with your higher notes. And I'm not blowing any faster. I'm not blowing more air. It's the same air, the same fuel. I'm just moving my tongue up. Now, there's a point where we can't, when we get to a certain level, that doesn't really help us as much. But for now, learn how to use different tongue levels, right? And then just transfer that feeling, put the main tuning slide back on to the trumpet. Pretty much the same thing. Hopefully that helps. I also have like a couple of videos that talks about that goes into more depth, but that's the general idea, right? Another thing is aperture size. That's kind of really important as well. The aperture size is how big or how small this opening is. But we got to make sure that that opening is still open when we go up to higher notes. So we still want that open, but at some level there the hole gets smaller, but it doesn't close off. You know, so check out my video, how to play higher notes for beginners, part 1. I haven't made a part 2 yet. I've been really thinking about that video, but hopefully that helps. Shout out to the 14 folks in here. Thank you, Holistic Health, for the $9.99 super chat. That's amazing. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you can, do me a big favor and hit the like button. The like button is free, and so it helps the channel a lot to get this content out to more people and to help more people. Nicholas says, hello from Rosario, Argentina. Nice, getting people all over the world. That's amazing. Thank you for being here. Always see you. Thanks for your videos. No problem, Nicholas. Question from Nicholas. When I go up to reach upper C, I feel like my embouchure changes. Is that right? In that way, I can get more high, but can't get consistency. That's a good question. So how do I get more consistency is your question. How do I get consistency with higher notes or any note? My quick tip for that is to do air attacks, because air attacks is going to, or starting the note with air and slowly bringing the lips together. Because when we do that, we're going to figure out the right amount of air speed that we need, the right amount of aperture size that we need, the right amount of tongue level or oral size that we need. What tends to happen is that we tend to overblow, and we really don't need to blow so hard. Like, air is cool, but we don't need to put tons and tons of air into the horn. So what do I mean? Air attacks. This is what I mean. So, for instance, let's just start real easy. Start on a low C. I know we're talking about higher notes, but in order to ingrain this this concept, I need you to realize how to get consistency with each and every note. So let's start with an easy note, which most people that might be low C. So let's do this. So we're gonna let's play that C. Right? Play that C. Of course, hopefully later, maybe if you watch this video on the replay, you play it. And then after that, let's now have that C in mind, but we're not going to play it. We're going to do an air attack. It's going to be all air, but we're going to still have the note in our head. All right, so the second step, so that's the second step. The third step is we're gonna blow just air, but slowly bring our lips together until that C wants to sound. So this is what I mean. So when I do this, this cues my lips. This is my cue for bringing the top lip and the bottom lip closer together. So this. Right? So how do we get consistency? We have to know the slot of where each note is. The slot of each and every note is completely different. But we don't want to force the note. We want to let the air do the work and then just see where the lips want to vibrate. Now let's do that on a higher partial. So let's do that on G. So play the note, step 1. Step 2, play air, or use air. Step 3, slowly bring the lips together. Now, if that's difficult for you, say if you're doing this. You're getting that higher partial, right? Say if you're getting that higher partial, that means that your tongue level or whatever, your tongue level is too high. So your setting is too high. And or you might be using too fast of air. So slow down the air, try to think of a lower tongue level and do the same thing. Now, if you're on the opposite end of the spectrum and you get this, you end up hitting that lower partial. That means your setting in your mouth is too low, and or your wind is too slow. So this is a good test to know if you really know where that note is. Do you really know where these notes lie? Because if you can, you'll be able to hit it no matter what, or with more accuracy. So I haven't warmed up yet, but you guys get my gist, right? Does that make sense? So I can basically hit any note that I'm familiar with. I just need to know where the setting is and hear it. Put a number 1 in the chat if that makes sense. So in order to get more consistency with your high notes, do this exercise on each and every single note and see if you can be more, if you can hit the note with just air. Christina says 1, Samuel says 1, Hugh says 1, nice. Brandon says 1, excellent, excellent. So 3 people out of the 21 people get it. So that's excellent. Nicholas says thank you very much for your tip. No problem. I know that was a really long-winded answer, no pun intended, but I think that's the most important exercise that I think everybody should do, is learning how to start each and every note with a breath attack. Can you do it? And can you do it consistently? That means that you know where that note is. Okay. Christina says, how do you get better at hearing something such as a jazz solo and transferring that to sheet music by ear? So, let's see. So we're talking about transcribing on paper. We're talking about transcribing on paper. It's difficult to do, but not impossible. What makes it less impossible is that you are familiar with subdivisions. So are you aware of quarter notes, eighth notes, sixteenths, triplets, and are you able to demonstrate that? Like this is the pulse, right? Now, can you clap or pat quarter notes? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, can you clap or can you hear eighth notes? 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm not a drummer, so I can't do 2 things at once. I can't do this, right? But 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now do you know what triplets sound like? 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Da 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 da. Now can you do 16th notes? Do you know what that sounds like? one E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, right? You need to be able to hear those things. If you're able to hear those subdivisions, then that's going to be a lot easier for you to be able to write it down, because the rhythm is the thing that people don't know how to write down. But if you know these subdivisions, you can hear these subdivisions, you can play these subdivisions, that's going to make your transcribing a lot easier. Pitches are easy. Pitches are easy. You just need to find the right pitch. But finding the right rhythm is difficult, unless you know how to you know how the subdivisions sound. Most times in jazz, they're playing eighth notes, right? They're playing eighth notes. Most times it's swung eighth notes, and they sound different from straight eighth notes. That's the thing, right? So you got to learn your subdivisions. Pitches, that's easy. That's easy. You can hear a pitch and pluck it out on the piano, but learn your subdivisions and then try to write it out. That's my tip. If you can do that, you'll be on your way. Put a number 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Put a 0 in the chat if that doesn't make sense, or if that doesn't help. Dislike the video if that doesn't help. But I think that's the most important thing that people need to really understand is subdivision of rhythm. Notes is easy. Jamel says, Christian, not really switching, but picking it up. Having that experience of a wind-based instrument would be great for my teaching, and I really want to jam along my favorite jazz charts on trumpet. Nice, man. That's excellent. So yeah, definitely, you picked an interesting instrument to really get your experience in wind blowing. But yeah, good job, and I salute you. Christina says, thank you. Nice. I don't know how to say your name. Say George. I think that's how you say it. They say nice. Thank you. I've seen you here before. Where are you from? Say George. Addie says 1. Samuel says, I'm setting up for a lesson with you tomorrow. Nice. Looking forward to seeing you. Can't wait to work with you, Samuel. Any other questions while I warm up? All right, now it's time to warm up my fingers. Excuse me. So that's a little exercise I came up with. It serves 2 purposes. It's something that's gonna fuel my jazz improvisation, and it helps the fingers as well. It's chromatic. It does chromatics. It does whole steps. It does minor third, and it warms up my lips. I do it. I try to do it 1 octave. When I do it 1 octave, I try to do it 2 octaves. That's the challenge, right? So, I can also try to, I can do, it's all in one. So I can do technical, like finger busting stuff, some dexterity. I can do range. I can take this up an octave. I can also articulate this, do it instead of doing all slurred, I can do it all single tongue. So I like to practice things that are I like to do things that encompass a lot of stuff, right? To save time, right? Jamel says, your videos are definitely motivational. One question, how do I adjust to the lip and jaw discomfort while playing? Will I get used to it? Lip and jaw discomfort. That'll probably be something that I'll have to see as far as like what your setup is. Your lip size, your mouth shape, what kind of mouthpiece you're using. Especially mouthpiece placement. It's different. You are a percussionist, so it is different to actually have something on your mouth and also trying to blow. So these are all new things. So that's probably something I'll have to see and look at. But as far as discomfort, that's really broad, because discomfort could mean that you're working the muscles here, and you could be feeling that burn here, which is a good burn. You don't want to feel the burn in the middle. You could be feeling some burn in the corners, which is good because we need strength here for endurance. But again, that for things like that, questions like that, that's something I'll have to see. So I do give lessons. First lesson is always free. So if you want to kind of get on a call with me and see what's happening, so I can take a look, take a listen, I would love to work with you and help as much as possible. Robert with 3 R's says, great to be live in your basement. Love from Belgium. Getting folks all over the world, man. This is crazy. I love you guys for being here. Jamel says, thank you a bunch. Email coming shortly. Nice. Looking forward to seeing you and working with you, Jamel. Especially a fellow Chicagoan. Belgium. What time is it in Belgium, man? Voon says, hi, I'm a guitarist and I have just bought a trumpet. I can play the C major scale until G. How can I get higher? Thank you. Greetings from Italy. This G? Oh, you just started, so probably that's what you're talking about. I would say for now, don't worry about playing the entire scale. If you're just starting out, just those 5 notes is probably plenty, if not too much. I would say if you're just starting out, just, focus on these 3 notes. Focus on 3 notes. Over time, as your embouchure develops, you'll be able to play more, but don't be in a rush to play higher notes, because we want to make sure that we're developing the embouchure healthily and methodically. So we don't want to, because if we want to play high too fast, most times people that don't take lessons or whatever, they end up having bad habits, because they end up doing inefficient things. I'm not going to say it's the wrong thing, but I'm going to say it's inefficient. It's inefficient to try to squeeze or just try to squeeze your lips together. So my advice is to just focus on C, D, and E. First 3 notes of a major scale. And then you can go down. You can either go down or you can go up in half steps. And that's how you can probably build your range as well. Just focus on the first 3 notes of each scale. So if you're doing C major, Try C sharp. Focus on that. Make sure that's nice and tight, nice and clean. You're able to articulate really nice and clean. And then going on up to the next half step. Go to the first three notes of D major. Then E flat, then E, and then F. Right? You get my drift. You can also go down. But focus on a little bit of information and see how much you can really master those three notes. Okay. Samuel says, same. When I began, I was the same, but I can enjoy the C major scale forwards and backwards. Good. Boom says, do you do Skype lessons? Yep, I do Skype, I do Zoom, I do FaceTime, I do Facebook, I do WhatsApp. So you can catch me on, I was about to say you can catch me outside, but you can catch me on those platforms. Any platform that works for you. Zoom probably not so much because the audio quality is kind of bad. I have more success like doing Skype, doing FaceTime and stuff like that. Ahmad, tips on hitting high notes. I should probably do a whole masterclass about just playing high notes. Consistency, that is. I talked about consistency earlier in this live stream. What's up, email? Good morning. But as a recap, I say consistency comes with knowing where each and every note is. Consistency comes with knowing where each and every single note is in the mouth and up here. So if you can hear it, that's half the battle. If you know where it is in the mouth and the type of air and stuff that you need to use, that's the other half. So do things like this. Not warmed up, so can't get that C out just yet. But you guys get my drift. Like, I know where those notes are because I've heard them so much, and I know where they are in my mouth. So when you want consistency, those two things have to line up. Especially if you're playing like lead or you're playing like big band stuff. Like out of the blue, you might just have to hit like a high note, just out of the blue, and you got to be able to pick it out. So you got to know where it is. There's no guessing, and it got to be clean too. You can't splee-eye it, right? No splee-eyes. Voon says, how can I contact you? You can contact me. You can email me at theblacktrumpeter@gmail.com. You can contact me. You can email me at theblacktrumpeter@gmail.com. Simon says, do you do lessons for beginners? In Ireland, we'll be in full lockdown for another few months, so I have no chance of getting an in-person teacher here until maybe July or August. Yeah, I do. It's mostly been beginners and from all ages. So that's kind of like my specialty. So giving lessons online just like this, virtually to beginners and getting them getting them nice and right, getting them together. So yes, I do. You can contact me if you guys want to take lessons. That's contact me, email me at theblacktrumpeter@gmail.com. The THE black trumpeter at gmail.com. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right, but Agno Caesar says, in your career, did you have problems with consistency in sound? Like if the universe decides that day you can play and when you can't, I'm kind of passing through this. For sure. Yeah, man. So when it comes to consistency, trumpet is it's a challenge to be consistent, because what's happening is our lips are the ones that are the things that are vibrating. So when it comes to like woodwind instruments, their excuse is reeds. So if they don't have a good reed, they can just get a new one, right? However, our excuse will forever be flesh, and flesh is ever changing. So what you need to do every morning is, it's a mindset. It's really a mindset. You got to think to yourself, okay, each day is a new day, so let's just tackle it as a new day. So if your tone is airy today, but it was like really nice and solid yesterday, don't trip. That's just the nature of the trumpet. Do not trip. Don't be too down on yourself. Like, oh, yesterday or the week before I was playing so great, but today I'm not. All right? So don't worry about that. Tackle today. See what you can do today to make yourself sound good. So if that means a longer warm-up, then do that. If that means just focusing on long tones for the day until your sound has more core to it, then do that. So how do you get consistency? Having a routine. That's how you get consistency. And playing every single day. That's consistent. That's the only thing you can control is your work ethic. That's the only thing you can control and be consistent at. Because this flesh is not consistent. Your work ethic is consistent. Your work ethic and how much you practice, that's where you get your consistency. So as far as sound, first you got to know what you want to sound like. So you gotta always be listening to the sounds you want to emulate, the sounds that you want to have in your bag. So that's number one. You gotta listen. Two, you gotta copy. You gotta copy. So what do I mean by that? Play along with those recordings that you're listening to, and if you have to slow them down, slow them down. Number three is long tones, and you gotta fall in love with long tones. You gotta fall in love with it. Please fall in love with it. Get a different relationship with long tones, a positive one, because I can always tell the trumpet players that dedicate their practice time to long tones. It's really easy to tell who plays long tones and who does not. So please, please play long tones. I have a routine here on my channel that's dedicated to long tones. So please do that. Agno says, that's comfortable, nice. Thanks from Brazil, big fan. No problem, man. Jamel says, wow, that's deep. Your work ethic has to be consistent. Gems of knowledge. Yeah, man. Trumpet is gonna humble you real quick. It humbles us every single day. One day you play great, the next day you suck. And that's just the reality of it. Now, you have less days where you suck, but you have more days when you do. So you gotta be comfortable. You gotta be comfortable. You gotta be comfortable on those days where you don't sound as good, because those days are gonna be more often than not. So you gotta learn how to mentally deal with that. Because one day you'll sound good. One day. What's up, y'all? There's 26 people in here. If you haven't already, just say pop in and say what up. Say hi and tell me where you're from. If you don't want to tell me where you're from, just say hey, what's up? Because I just hit 36,000 subscribers, and guess what? I have no idea who you guys are. So please, 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 if you haven't said it already, please say hi and let me know where you're from. So I thank everybody that is subscribing. Thank you so much. Gorka Puerta says, hi, Black Trumpeter. I'm going through an embouchure change because I seem to blow air downward, meaning high notes are non-existent. Any tips? If you're blowing downward, most people have an overbite. All right. My top teeth are over my bottom teeth. And so what will help is for us to kind of move the jaw a little bit forward so that the top teeth and the bottom teeth, they're more aligned. Besides the top teeth being over the bottom teeth. So kind of jut your jaw forward a little bit. And because then it will get the trumpet straight out, besides down, like a clarinet player. And we don't play clarinet, so let's not do that. So, but we want to make sure that if you do have an overbite, like I do, jut out the jaw a little bit, make sure the teeth align, and get that horn angle right. Now there is some type of shift. I'm not going to say that we don't shift or don't have like little pivots, but that might help. That might help with your higher notes. Jamel says, as a percussionist, I'm used to concert pitch. Does it actually matter if I'm thinking about pitches in concert pitch or trumpet pitch when playing trumpet? That's an excellent question. And the reason why that's an excellent question is because, especially if you start playing in like ensemble type of thing with other people, not just trumpet players, the people in the band are going to be talking about concert pitch. They're not going to be talking in B flat pitch. So I would say still get really comfortable with concert pitch. I always talk in B flat because I'm talking to trumpet players or I'm talking to B flat instruments because it's just easier because not everybody knows the transposition. But whether or not you think of it in concert at B flat, It's up to you. It's up to you. Just as long as you can hear it and you can play it, and you know what note you're on, and you know when you look on the page, that's in B flat. Don't think of it as concert. So just know that when you look on the, and you're a teacher, so I don't really have to tell you, but when you look at the page, that's B flat instead of C. I'm just saying that in general. I know you don't need to, I don't need to explain that any further because you're a teacher, but just saying. Dom says, hi, Dom from Massachusetts. Hey, what's up, Dom? Thank you for popping in, saying what up. 11B Nuffy says hello from South Carolina. Now, okay, we're getting some American folks up in here from the States. Keelan says, yo, what's up, Keelan? Gorka says, thank you, very useful, excellent, from the UK. Jamel says, got it. Have to leave for class, but I'll be in contact. Have a wonderful day, everyone. See you, Jamel. Have a wonderful day of teaching, of playing, and everything. All right. Mr. G says, have you ever dropped the trumpet? Yes, plenty of times. And I still do it. I've been playing for like, what, 19 years, and I still bang. You see, like, you see my horn? That's a dent. That's not cosmetic. So I still drop it. I'm still clumsy. No shame, just make sure you get it fixed. But yeah, there was one time I was going to a gig and I packed my horn up, but guess what happened? I forgot to zip it. So what happened? My damn horn fell out the case and it fell down the stairs. I was terrified. I was terrified. I'm like, I'm about to go to a, please, Lord Jesus, please. I hope this trumpet is in good shape. Because I was terrified. But when I got it, it was just this. Whew. But it fell down the stairs. Metal stairs, like steel stairs. It fell out my case. I forgot to zip it up. I was in a rush. Oh my God, the terror. But, whew. Yeah, so I dropped my horn plenty of times. Whew. Hanza says hello from Czechia. Really not familiar with that, but man, I'm hearing about places I've never even heard about. So this is excellent, y'all. Thank you for being here. You're an excellent player, to be honest. Thank you so much. Ahmad says, do you know Tank from Cowboy Bebop? Been wanting to play it, but I can't get the staccato parts right. Any tips if you know? Love from Singapore. So as far as staccato notes, I'm not familiar. I am familiar with the anime, but I'm not familiar with the theme. But when it comes to staccato, you got to think about uh, the saying. So, so think about staccato being something you say. So, and it's different. It's different in different cultures. Like different syllables are different in different cultures. So this might be different for you, but I like to think of staccato as little little blocks of sound with space in between. Little blocks of sound with space in between. So dot or dit. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying in my mouth. Dit. Dit. Like there's space in between. Dit, and that's what I'm doing to articulate that. Now, what I will recommend is that you try that on as many notes as possible and try to get a really clean sound. Woo. I need to clean this horn. I try to do it on as many notes as possible. So say dit, D-I-T. Dit. Put that space in between. Now, I probably will have to listen to it to hear the length and the quality of that staccato, because each staccato is different in different styles. Yeah. Hugh says, I'm more worried about denting my trumpet than my car. Exactly, man, Hugh. Like I care more about denting my trumpet than getting a scratch on the car. Like because it just changes everything. It changes the chemistry. Changes the chemistry of the horn. Like it was not made to have dents in it, but you know, things happen. And it's okay. Just get them fixed if you can. Konstantinos says, greetings from Greece, your inspiration. Thank you, Konstantinos. All right. I need to warm up my upper notes a little bit. So let me continue. Nice. You guys should watch the Wayne Bergeron masterclass, the recent one that he's done, and he talks about tongue level. You know how I talk about how we do E to get higher notes? However, there's a point where that does not work, and you get a thinner sound. And what Mr. Wayne Bergeron was talking about, to get a bigger sound in the upper register, we still need to say ah. We need to keep the oral cavity in the vowel sound. We still need to keep ah when we're up there to get a bigger and brighter sound instead of a thinner sound. So I just did that, and you know, it worked. So ooh, you guys hear that? So I did C above the staff with the E syllable, and it was very pinched. Versus when I did it with ah, it was more open. That's why he's the man. Now I'm gonna do it with E, an E syllable. Woo! Yeah, that opens it up. That opens up the sound. All right. So I guess when we're up there to get a bigger and brighter and more piercing sound, not piercing, that's a terrible word. A more what's the word I'm looking for? Pinpointed projection. Yes, projection is the word. When we want a more projected sound, open up the oral cavity, say ah, and try to play those higher notes with an ah syllable. Now that also means that we have to use a little bit. We got to follow through with the air. Got to follow through with the air. So in order to keep the lips to keep vibrating. I'm gonna have to experiment with that a little bit more. Steve G says, good morning from Carmel. What's up? Thanks for doing all of this. Looking forward to working on the bebop scale exercises on your Patreon. Steve, thank you so much for supporting the channel and becoming a Patreon member. So I am slowly but surely editing all 20 episodes of bebop scale mastery. So I'm editing down those live streams so you can just practice the exercises and not have to hear me talk a whole lot, right? So I'm up to 11. The playlist is called Bebop Scale Routines. So those are just really edited down live streams of that show that I did in the summer. I'm gonna bring it back, but it's not gonna be every day like I did it over the summer. It's probably be once a week. So instead of 4 exercises per week, it's just gonna be 1. Because doing live streams for every day was killing me, especially with the newborn or with like a 3-month-old or whatever. So I was burnt out. So I'm gonna peel it back and bring back the show and bring back the live show and do it once a week. So be on the lookout for that. Hugh says, but to play a high C with the ah cavity, you need to adjust your aperture to achieve the right vibration to get the tone efficiently. Am I right? Let's see. The aperture needs to be more open. It needs to be open because we don't want to close off the sound. What I was just doing is trying to kind of do different things. Like first I experimented with a higher tongue arch, playing the C and leaving the oral cavity open. So when I do that, it's less in the pocket. It's squirrely, like it doesn't want to slot when I do that. But if I experiment with keeping the aperture open and saying "ah," bringing the tongue level down, it's still up, I get a more open sound. But if I mess with the aperture and make it smaller, that's also really squirrely and it gives me it gives me a smaller, like really thin sound. So this is what Wayne Bergeron was talking about. It's like we gotta make sure that the lips are open, the aperture is open, and we use um, an open vowel sound. So it just comes off really nice and vibrant and resonant. Um, so yeah, I just did that, and you know, it's solid. You know, can't you? I mean, you can't, you can't get any better than that. Like advice like that, and you gotta test. Like you gotta test and see what works. You know, works for you. It's always, you have to experiment. You kind of have to be your own best teacher when it comes to trumpet playing, because you're only with the teacher once a week, if that. The rest of that time you're with yourself, so you got to learn how to teach yourself mostly. Learn how to analyze what you're doing, look back, record yourself, listen back, see what you're doing. Samuel, just got a notification. I'll see you in our lesson. See you soon. So yeah. Yeah, we gotta keep that thing open. Gotta keep that thing open. Say ah when we get up there. Open up the sound. Yeah, okay. Uh shit. So I think I think one of the reasons why I've kind of hit a ceiling is because my tongue level is too high, and it's made playing the upper notes um, too much of a chore, because the sound is too thin, and it kind of backs up on me, like the air like backs up on me if my tongue level is too high. So if we bring it down, say ah, and play those notes, it really opens up, and I can access notes with more vibrance and more resonance. I'm just figuring that out right now in real time. So welcome to my discovery. Um, uh, that's where I cap. F is like my cap. Also, if you're trying to play high notes, this is something I have not done in a long time. And I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say that how long it's been, but it's been a long time since I've cleaned this horn. And so when you don't clean your horn, you're closing off the air that could be going in there. So I really need to clean my horn. I know it's going to be super disgusting in there. But that's what's I think that's the reason why I can't access those notes, because I have not cleaned my horn. So to all you folks out there that have not cleaned your horn yet, let's do that. Let's do that today or sometime this week before the week is over, because I think that's the reason why I can't access those notes yet, because it's so much it's so much resistance. Like, it's hard to blow through it. Everyday Show Day says, shoot, yeah, I finally made it to one of your live warm-ups. Thank you for being here, Everyday Show Day. Let's see, what else am I working on? I'm working on a method, improvisational method. It's going along pretty well, actually. As far as like coming up with ideas, coming up with ideas and not really have to be blessed with divine inspiration, right? So it's more so I'm using like a system or an algorithm to create lines, and then being more creative with those lines. I know this is like super vague, and you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, which is fine. I might do a video kind of explaining what I'm doing, but I'm combining a couple of different methods all in one. And what I'm doing, hey Matt, what's up? He says, love your vids from licks to Chet transcription. Hi from Ontario, Canada. Welcome, Matt. Thank you for being here. Thank you everybody that's been here so far. Say what up if you're new, or if you're you're old. Well, not old, but seasoned. You've been here for a while, been subscribed. Say what up. I just hit 36,000 subscribers, and I don't know. I only know like maybe 50 of y'all. So say what up. Say hey. Say what up. I think I might do more live streams just to get to know y'all and interact. So yeah. So I love seeing you guys and saying what up. So yeah, I'm running out of things to say here. I'm a very good conversationalist. What's up, Samuel? So I'm combining different improvisational methods that I've learned prior, and it just makes more sense to do it this way. So for instance, I've checked out Barry Harris's method. I've checked out Jeff Berganzi's method. I've checked out David Baker's method. I've checked out the George Benson method. The guitarist George Benson, checked out his method with what's his name? Oh, I'm blanking. Something Farrell. I've listened to the greats talk about how they learned how to improvise. For instance, Miles Davis learned how to improvise by taking licks and, in his words, pasting them together, right? So taking different licks and just like stringing them one by one after another. So what is that, like 4 or 5 methods? And they all kind of do similar things. However, there's some gaps. And I kind of want to fill those gaps. And so that's what I'm experimenting while I'm in quarantine right now, by filling in those gaps. To where, people can be creative and be themselves. And I know I'm getting into jazz and people are leaving, but or improvisation, but we all need a method that's flexible and that's a method that's flexible for the individual, based on what they like to play or what they like to listen to or whatever. So some methods, like they don't prioritize the individual, which is interesting. So I'm trying to create a method that allows the individual to really shine and like really create their own sound. So that's what I'm working on right now. Matt H says, so I'm struggling with the bebop articulation. Any advice? As far as bebop articulation, here's some common rules. And you really have to kind of I say first, of course, listen to how they're playing, but I need you to also look at the music. I know in past instances I preach like this music is an oral art form that we learn by ear, but we also kind of need to look at it too. And the reason why I say look at it is because you need to be able to see the line like in its visual form, because that's going to also tell you how to articulate. What do I mean by that? Let's see. Let's see. We got some books here. Perfect. Got some Dizzy Gillespie classics. Here we go. Let's take perfect. Groovin' High. So let's take Groovin' High for instance. I don't know this song, but I'm just gonna read it. That's not right. Is that right? That doesn't seem right. Those last two notes. I've heard the song before, but I've never actually played it. So, for instance, bebop articulation. So this phrase, for instance. That phrase, just that right there. When it comes to bebop articulation or jazz articulation, rule number one is accent the first note of the phrase. Accent the first note of the phrase. Accent the first note of the phrase. Rule number two, accent syncopated notes. So put accents on the syncopated notes. That's the end of two. Rule number three. Was that rule number three? So articulate. So accent the first note. Accent the syncopated notes. Rule number three is accent the highest note in the phrase. So for instance, if you look at it, I'm gonna show it to you real quick. If you look at it, This note, this note, this D or whatever, this D is the highest note in this phrase. And, but also, if we look at these two measures, this E is the highest note. And it's also syncopated. Right? So, real quick, accent the first note in the phrase, accent the syncopated notes in the phrase, accent the highest note in the phrase, and you should be good. Don't worry about swinging the eighth notes really hard. Don't worry about swinging the eighth notes really hard, because your articulation, how you accent is going to help you get that sound as well. So you can actually play this with straight eighths, but how you place the accents kind of really helps with the articulation and making it sound more like bebop or jazz. Trash at sight reading. I need to read more. But that's my quick tips for articulation for bebop or whatever. There are other schools of thought. And whatever is the right term. It's easier to kind of think of accents. Where do you place the accents? Because that's where a lot of people mess up. They don't put the right accents on the right notes. All the notes are not equal. You can't play them same. So you got to put accents in the right spots. Put them on the first note of the phrase, the syncopated note in the phrase, and the highest note of the phrase. Now, if it's constant eighth notes, like so if it's constant eighth notes, then I would say accent the 1 and the 3. Ba ba da ba da ba da da ba da da 1 1 2 3 1 2 3. So accent the 1 and the 3 to kind of help you kind of stay locked in. Ba ba da ba do ba da da ba da ba do ba da 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 ba da do ba da da da. Right? Put number 1 in the chat if all that makes sense. If any of that makes sense. Small Brain says, hi, what's up, Small Brain? He says, you are cool. Thank you so much. Mark says, hi, newbie in trumpet. Excellent. Congrats for picking up the trumpet, Mark. Mark, what's your advice to make a perfect embouchure and getting nice high notes? Of course, Charlie Porter has great videos on embouchure. Go watch that hour-long video for sure. However, some quick tips is make sure that you have your top lip is in the mouthpiece. I know I have a mustache, so it's hard to tell, but make sure your lips are in the mouthpiece. So me personally, I would say half and half. However, it depends on your lip shape. But you definitely want the top lip in the cup. So Top lip in the cup. If you have thicker lips than not like me, I have to kind of tuck in my lips. I'm not tucking my lips over my teeth. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm just tucking in my lips. So I have the top lip in there, I have the bottom lip in there, but not like this. Or further down. Because we need the top lip to vibrate. So if the top lip isn't in the cup or isn't in the mouthpiece, it's going to be very hard to develop range, flexibility, endurance. Because that's what I struggled with in the beginning, is because my mouthpiece was too low. But I had a good tone, but everything else suffered immensely up until I got to college. But yeah, but that's, as long as you got the top lip and the bottom lip in the cup, that's you're good. Firm corners, flat chin. So I'm kind of stretching. I'm stretching my bottom lip across my bottom teeth. Like that, to get a flat chin. Firm the corners, lips in the mouthpiece. Bam, and that's how you get an embouchure. Now, what I also recommend is that you also look at good embouchures. So look at Maurice Andre's embouchure. Look at Wynton Marsalis's embouchure. And don't say, I want you to look at the movement. Like, does it look like they're like struggling playing the trumpet? Or does it look like a picture? Like if you just turn the sound off and you just look at them, it's like, it doesn't look like they're playing. Are they playing? That's the perfect embouchure. Because that means that you're really efficient. You're extremely efficient when you play. So that's always my goal, is to be able to have an efficient embouchure that there's little movement. Because if we have tons of big movements, that means there's something going on and we're really inefficient with our air, with our tongue arch, with our aperture control, with our breath support. So look at other trumpet players' embouchure, not to compare it as like, okay, I have to have it in the middle, I have to have it like that, but look at the efficiency, I can't talk, of the embouchure. Does it look like they're playing with ease? Does it look like they're playing with just like tons of tension and like working hard? So look at Maurice Andre, Wynton Marsalis, look at Håkan Hardenberger, look at any great trumpet player that has ever played this instrument, and really pay attention to how efficient their embouchure is. What does it look like? So that's my quick tip. What time is it? I do have lessons today. I do have lessons today. Like 3 or 4. 3 or 4 today. 3? Something like that. I gotta check the schedule. I know I have one person. I have one person at 9:30. Hunter says, do you know how to play Ravel? Is that it? Varel? I really want to play it for Boy Scouts, buglers. I'm 12. Any advice? I don't know it. However, if you send me a link or something, send me a link or email me at theblacktrumpeter@gmail.com. Send me a link so I can know what you're talking about and I can figure it out. Excuse me. Matt says, accenting the high note is what I was missing. Thank you. Dope. So he was talking about the bebop articulation. Everyday show day, 111 for day, 111 for days. So that makes sense. Good. What's up, Just Pumpkin? Says, oh my God, it's really you. It is me. Bad hair and all. Bad hair and all. Need a haircut and mustache. Need to trim this mustache, man. PWG Freestyle says, yo, thanks for the inspiration. You're motivating me to get back into playing. Go ahead and bust that horn back out. Go ahead and bust it out and play some tunes, man. Samantha Houston says, hi, what's up, Samantha? Samuel says, what time is it by you? It's 8:40 something. Maybe going on 8:50. Samantha, how do you play the fight song? Which fight song? I have, it's been a long time since I played the Illinois State fight song or my high school fight song, Homewood Flossmoor fight song. Reveille. That's my college fight song. I think so. I always get them mixed up. Pretty much fight songs kind of sound the same. They kind of all sound the same to me. I think that's my college fight song, Illinois State. Dom. 30 years ago, George Benson brought me a pork fried rice. What? 30 years ago, he got you some pork fried rice. You gotta explain. You gotta go into more detail, man. Where was this? How'd you get in the same room? Why did he buy you? Why did he buy you fried rice? You gotta explain, man. Can't just throw that out there, flexing on us like that. Please explain. Give us a whole picture. What's up, Josiah? Don says, I worked at a hotel. Nice. And Don, was at the hotel? Samantha Hudson says, I mean, who is Benson? Who is George Benson? George Benson is a well-renowned guitarist, improvising guitarist, amazing player. Everyday Show Day. Oh wait, he says, Everyday Show Day. I've been looking into the history of the horse race buglers. However, I'm seeing that there isn't much out there. Do you know of anyone or resources I can research to learn more about them? Oh, you know what? You know what? I think who might know a lot about that is a good friend, or a friend of mine. Her name is Monica Benson, I think her name is. Monica Benson. She plays like the bugle, like those long trumpets, right? She plays the bugle for like the horse races. So she might know the history and all that. So I think her name is Monica Benson, Benson, Monica, 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 Benson, Monica Benson. So reach out to her, try to track her down and see, try to see if she knows anything about that or knows the history, because I have no idea. But I think she'll be able to point you in the right direction. You might be able to find her on Instagram, on Facebook, maybe even here on YouTube as well. Monica Benson. Samantha says, I still haven't gotten valve oil on my pants. That, don't worry, you got plenty of time. You got plenty of time to do that. Don't worry, it's coming for you. It's coming. We all get it. Dom says, I took his girlfriend home that morning. Oh my God. Hopefully it was that was a wholesome comment. With good intentions. Cause that don't sound too good, my man. What's up? Out. I'm gonna say your name wrong, but Martins is the last name. Martins. Hey, brother. Very good. What's up, Park? Good morning from South Korea. What's up? What's up? I gotta get out of here. I gotta eat something. It's great hanging with y'all, but I gotta eat. I'm really hungry. You know, Ari's off taking her nap, so I gotta eat before she wakes up. The most famous question I get, what's the highest note you can play? The highest note I can play for right now is E above the staff. And that's really kind of my specialty right now, because I haven't had to play anything higher than that. Thank God. But, I really want to kind of get to the double G's and double A's. So I don't know how to do that yet. I'm getting up there, but it's really thin. I got to clean my horn, which will probably make it better. But E's and a little F's. Some F's above the staff, a little bit. If I have to, then I can play that. I haven't had to play anything higher. But usually when I do gig, I'm the only trumpet player, so I do need to play those higher notes more often. So, but nothing too high, nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. But I'm gonna get out of here, folks. I've been on here for, it says 104 minutes. Lord have mercy. It was great hanging. You guys, I'm thinking about doing a new show, and for the 21 people here watching, you guys are going to be the ones to hear this first. So I'm thinking about doing a new show here on YouTube, and it's going to I want to bring you guys on here live. So you know how you guys like ask me questions and stuff like that here, but I can't hear you, I can't see you. I can't hear you or see you, but I want to do a new show where I bring you guys here live with me so I can help you out for free. What do you guys think about that? So you can ask me questions. I can kind of give you a mini lesson. Come here live. We can hang out. What you guys think about that? Park says, I'm also an amateur hobby trumpeter. Nice to meet you. Trumpet is very difficult, but very fun. It's a very rewarding instrument for sure. I'm not sure what time yet. I might do multiple shows. It'll probably do multiple shows. Everyday show day says sign me up. What time is it there? What time is it there right now, Samantha? You said 4:15. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about. I'm putting together the technical difficulties and things like that. But I really want to help you guys, and I kind of want to make it into like a continually a show, another show here on YouTube. Oh, so you're Central Time. So yeah, it'll probably be, I might do 2 shows in one day. Like one that's earlier and one that's later. So I'm flirting with this idea right now. I'm flirting with it. We're dating right now. We're on talking terms right now. So that's what I want to do. I want to try to figure out how to get you guys here on live on YouTube. So you don't need to sign up. I will just have to, I will post a link and people can wait in the waiting room. And then I'll just go one by one. Help you guys one by one, as many people as I can. Maybe an hour, probably no more than that. Hour and a half, probably no more than an hour and a half. Try to see how many people I can help in an hour or so. But that's what I'm thinking about. So be on the lookout for that, because I'm getting a new laptop. I gotta set up my stuff. I gotta unpack it, because I just moved. The link is going to be posted, on the live. So once I go live, I'm going to post the link, and then once you join the live, once you're here with me on YouTube, just click the link. It will take you to a waiting room, and then I can help you. But I want to make it as easy as possible, an easy experience. So it's going to be a live show with video callers. So we'll see what I can do with that. But I'm flirting with that idea. I'm kind of excited about it. But I got to go eat, folks. I am starving. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. You take it easy, you stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay? Peace.